I started trying to understand what made them great, trying to understand how they progressed, how the fight game progressed.
If we say no, it's not the fight.
It's the camp.
It's the camp.
Y'all both touched that canvas. It was a dog fight.
You have to mentally get yourself prepared for sparring 3 days a week.
Yeah, because I want to be just as prepared in life the way that you are in that ring.
Yo, what's going on? Here's another episode of Squared Up. And I'm your host, Adrien Berto. And today's guest is my guy, Grammy Award-winning songwriter, producer, and artist. My guy, Rico Love. What's happening,
What's
my
up,
boy?
baby boy? How you feeling?
We out here, baby. We out here to see you, my man. What's going on?
Man, everything is good, man.
I know you always good. Every time I see you, good, brother.
I'm working hard, man. I'm up every morning.
Getting to it.
Man, I got a crazy routine.
I've been seeing you, bro.
I go to bed at 8 o'clock now.
8 o'clock.
I wake up at 2 a.m. I work out at 3 a.m.
Really?
I do right here. It's Stairmaster for 30 minutes. Then I do weight training. Then I do Stairmaster again. And I do the sauna, do the hot tub, do the cold plunge. Then I
When
shower.
did that switch happened though? Like you
And
just...
I take my kids to school.
Yeah?
Then I go to the studio around 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Back to the gym at 2. So
Jeez.
it's kind of my whole life is based around working out. And the switch happened like around May.
Yeah.
I met my coach, my trainer, and I like to call him my coach because he ain't just a, Black Ninja Turtle. He ain't just
Black Ninja.
he ain't just a trainer, he's a coach. But I met him, we locked in, and it got to the point where I just was like, I gotta make a change, man. I was like 70 pounds heavier than I am now. I was just out of shape. I was depressed. I was going through so much, and I was like, man, get up, man. Because it's only so much you can feel sorry for yourself no matter what's going on. So how many people come against you? I felt like I was fighting every day, waking up just fighting for my life in every direction. Yeah. Then I was like, all right. And you know what's funny? As this journey kind of progressed, and I felt less pressure in my personal life. And that's when like things started falling off me. Breakthroughs started happening. And I was just like, all right, man, I gotta move and act like a champion, like you, like Berto.
Man, one thing about you, Rick, man, no, of course, before we get into the life of Rico Love, listen, one thing when it comes to me, I have a vast, network of people in the entertainment space, and of course, other athletes, things of that nature, that really love this fight game.
Oh yeah.
And that's one purpose, when it comes to the show, man, to really try to, bring a lot of that to light, right? Mm-hmm. And one thing about it, every time there is a fight, a big fight, as soon as the fight is over, I'm getting that call. Rico is definitely one of them guys that give me that call, man. We really break these fights down. Yeah. And he really just knows his stuff, man. And I just love it.
Taught me so much, bro, about the fight game.
And I definitely want you to, go into that, of course. I mean, just to really just open up and expound on that, this fight game. This is a combat entertainment show. Yeah. We got to get into that, man. How you fell in love with this boxing?
My dad had a VHS tape of Thriller in Manila.
Really?
And I used to watch it, and the way he would talk about fighting and fighters, and where he would break down fights, and around that time when I was a kid, it was, Sugar Ray and Tommy Hearns and Hagler and Durant. Like, it was like I was a baby, but I was watching that, and then as I grew into the Tyson era. I was watching old fights from Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray, but I was really understanding fighting from watching Muhammad Ali and my dad just making sure I knew about Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and, Sonny Liston even, Joe Louis and, all those guys, you know what I mean? And
crazy.
What I started doing was I started trying to understand what made them great, trying to understand how they progressed, how the fight game progressed, how the business of boxing progressed, styles, understanding styles, is trying to understand matchups, getting it wrong a bunch of times, making wrong predictions, you know what I mean? And that's the best part about it, bro. I think that's the best part about boxing is being dead wrong and being shocked and then understanding and learning from that and saying, I love the saying, styles win fights, you know what I mean? Because
styles make fights.
Certain guys, styles make fights, because some guys you look at and just think, oh no, it's a no-brainer, but then you start understanding like this meshes well with this and this guy. What I don't like though, I don't like the idea of, I think Floyd was the gift and the curse. I don't like the idea of guys feeling like they so scared to take the big fight because they don't want to get a L. And I think that embrace that. If you get the right,
all the time,
you get the right L, you look good. Like I guess take for instance your career when you fought Collazo and beat Collazo by decision.
Yeah.
It was a rough fight though.
That was a rough fight.
It was a tough fight. But then I think in 2011 when you lost to Ortiz, it wasn't a loss. It was like
the fight though. But that's the fight that was haunting me for a while, right? I was just telling my lady that the other day, right? Is you know, of course the Ortiz fight, that was my first loss, and I hated it for a very long time because, you know, I was the type of fighter that, you know, I was coming on the rise so heavy, and I kept promoting and marketing myself so much, and I felt like everybody watched that fight. It felt like I was, embarrassed. It felt like, like all the people that I really tried to get that attention from, they got a chance to see me lose for the first time. And it just really just kind of really messed with me, mentally. I mean, just me walking through the airport, I felt like everybody was watching me.
Yeah.
I hated it, right?
Can I say this as a fan? I think Collazo set up the fight in a powerful way for you. And I mean this because the way you showed that you were not just a flashy fighter. You showed that you was a dog.
Yeah.
So even with Ortiz, y'all both touched that canvas. You know what I mean? It wasn't just, it was a dog fight. It could have went either way. It was a dog fight. And I think that it was one of those things that boxing needs. It need the top dog to take his first one. And then everybody like, okay, what's next? I think now the emphasis has been placed on no losing. And it's almost like guys are afraid that they're not going to get the bag if they take a L. Not realizing, man, that's the fight game. Like, you know, and I think that the moment that Shakur just had was his moment like that. And I think
him fighting T.O., right?
Because think about it, him fighting T.O. And look at when Floyd fought Corrales, right? That was his coming out. But then he had De La Hoya and Ricky Hatton the same year. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So when you go in through that, Corrales was like, okay, he's a star. He's a guy.
That was that fight, man. Like, I think that was one of my favorite fights from Floyd, the Diego Corrales and the Ricky Hatton fight.
Ricky Hatton, yeah.
I think both of those fights are probably my favorite fights from Floyd because you got a chance to see, I mean, especially when it comes to the Corrales fight. You know, Corrales was undefeated champion, big, strong, everybody's scared of him. You know, Floyd showed so much of skill, picking them apart, movement, you know what I mean, stabbing them, down low, up top, you know what I mean, and being able to drop with that check hook.
Going here.
Yes, man.
Bam. I was like, oh.
I mean, it was just a clinic. And you wouldn't expect that from a guy, like Floyd, and fighting a guy like Corrales, because Corrales was so much of a monster, bro. And that, but that really, like for me, took him to a whole nother level.
Absolutely, and I think that this was Shakur's coming out party, in my opinion. The reason why is because you got the three young guys. You had the Devin, you got Tank, you got Shakur. And I think that the fact that even though we know that Shakur is the more skilled boxer out of the three, and that's tough because Devin is skilled, and I also don't think that people give Tank enough credit in his skill. I think he get hit a lot more than those guys, but I think it's because of his, like you said, style.
More
like,
aggressive style.
He wants to move in for that uppercut.
He wants to get you out of there.
So sometimes you got to take some punches, and a lot of times people confuse that for like the fact that or the idea that he doesn't know how to box as well. He's a boxer as well. He's just saying, I don't trust your power against my power.
Like if you get in there with a guy that can punch, I mean, just like me myself, if I fought somebody and I don't respect his power, I'm walking to you. I'm trying to get you up out of here. That's period. So I can see like with Tank has so much power. He knows that he's confident with it, but at the same time, if you know what you're looking at, you see that he has a deep bag as well. You know what I mean? Like he really knows. Well, he has a great IQ as well.
What do you think happened with Roach? Like in Tank.
The thing with Tank and Roach, I can tell just by watching, and of course just seeing some of the interviews, that they were very familiar with each other. You know what I'm saying? I can tell that they spent a lot of time, sparring, and they fought a few times in the amateurs, right? Like you see, a guy like Roach come into the fight, he was so confident.
He was.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's my first time hearing about Roach.
Yeah.
He came here just so confident, and I didn't know why. And just even sometimes when guys can act like they're confident, and I mean, I had press conferences, things of that nature, but he came to the dance.
Yeah.
In the middle of the ring, like, I already know what it's gonna be.
Lights is different.
Yeah,
You taught me something. First of all, I'm forever grateful you took me to, ringside.
Yeah.
The tank.
We did that.
I mean, we did that. That was for my birthday, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, we
but
did
what
that.
you told me, you said some real shit. You said, I don't care how good you are. I don't care how prepared you are. You got to be prepared for those lights because it's different.
That's a fact.
The different kind of lights.
That's a fact.
And I think that Roach impressed me the most was that those lights didn't scare him.
Yeah.
Because when you look out, I'll give you an example. When I was coming up in the business, I toured with Usher. I came out when I'm a 17-year-old kid. Usher bring me out on stage to perform with him. And we go to Memphis and we go to Milwaukee, we go to Chicago, we go to different places, and I kill it, And when we got to LA, and I looked out in that crowd and I saw Diana Ross and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and Kevin Garnett and Magic Johnson and Britney Spears, and I'm looking at and I'm seeing these people.
Yeah.
I saw Britney and Kevin Garnett, and I'm like, and I forgot the words. Middle of the show, forgot the words. And I look over and I thought Usher was gonna be upset. He was laughing. He was like, yeah, this happens.
Yeah.
This had to happen. Because those lights hit different.
Right, bro. And I've seen so many fighters, throughout my career, we call them gym fighters, right? Like you in the gym with them, they look like superstars. I mean, sparring, training, you can put them in the ring, in the gym with anybody, any world champion, they beating their ass. When it comes to making that walk to the ring, that's a whole different animal. I've seen guys get crushed just by that walk before they even get in there, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've seen guys pack it up. Like early in my career, I remember seeing guys, they be back in the dressing room with us. You hear the crowd, screaming. You see a guy, get ready to walk out to the fights, and he comes back cut up, bloody. He gets finished losing. I've seen guys in the back, they sit back and watch that like, all right, man, I can't do it. They pack their bag up and leave. I've seen it a number of times.
What?
Yes, man, because, like I say, man, a lot of these people, man, it's very easy to criticize, these fighters. But to be able to just have the courage.
Yeah, to get in there.
To make that walk, to be able to get those knocks on your door.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got 10 minutes. 5 minutes, like I said, you got a TV in there, so you're seeing what's going on, and just knowing that you're about to get out there in front of 10,000, 20,000 people, it's almost time for you.
Yeah.
You can hear, 9 times out of 10, they're putting you in a dressing room, right next to your opponent. So you hear them, like punching on the mitts. Boom, 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 boom. You hear his team cheering. You're just like, God.
I got to go in here and do it.
I got to go.
You know what it bugged me out? Because I've been to many fights. I think my first time being ringside was that Tank fight. Hearing the glove hit the body was the part that was scary to me.
Yeah.
Because I've been in those fights, you see them, but being right there, and when you hear the glove hit the body, and you hear how many times that glove is hitting that body, that part of it is, I think, the most insane part. The fact that these guys are going to be pissing blood in the morning. You know what I mean? The fact that these guys is like, really broken ribs in round 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Had to get right back out there, nose broke, jaw broke.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on, but you like, this is my question to you as a fight fan.
What?
Is the adrenaline getting you through? Do you know that your ribs are like punctured? Do you know that your jaws you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
You
feel everything. You still feel it. I
really?
mean, it's a lot of adrenaline, of course. Like Evander Holyfield taught me something a long time ago. I think after like my, probably 10th fight, that's why I was living in Atlanta. And Evander told me, he said, listen, man, I don't think you got introduced to the pro game yet. I've seen a lot of your fights, you're running through these guys. You know that you're going to be introduced to the game, once you go through some real adversity and you have to start speaking to yourself, like in the ring. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, you'll figure it out. He said when I fought, what's his name, Riddick Bowe, And he was hitting me with these shots. Like they were stinging so hard that it went down to my soul that I really had to keep talking to myself, in the middle of the fight, like, either I'm finna bite back or I need to get up out of here because this is gonna really, do some damage to me. And I found that on my first really big, coming out fight on HBO, I fought against Chicago. His name was David Estrada. He fought Shane Mosley. He fought, a lot of these tough guys. He was a tough veteran. And like for me, it was like my coming out party on HBO, this young stud. You know what I mean? I forgot whose undercard I was fighting. I think it was Jermaine Taylor's. I was a co-main event. And like I said, this dude, he didn't care. He didn't care. I don't care if anybody came here to watch you. In my mind, this is my coming out party. Everybody came to see me. I need to show out. Man, when I tell you, man, this dude came straight at me from round one, banging me with them little red gloves on. You could tell they tied him back. I just felt all knuckle. Bing, 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 bing. And it was the first fighter that I was fighting at the time that every time I hit him, he took it and came right back. Took it and came right back. And when I tell you, man, it was just, it was an uncomfortable feeling because the pace started so fast. And it got to a point that, when I was hitting him, he was hitting me right back. I'm like, oh my God, he's trying to embarrass me in front of everybody. And these shots hurt. Yeah. And he's pushing me back to the ropes and he's banging, banging, banging. I go back to the corner. I'm like, man, the pace is too fast. Like, I'm getting tired, it feels like. But it was all the anxiety that was going on. And, that was the fight that I think it was round, 4 or 5, man, where I really started feeling like my face starting to change. You know what I mean? I'm feeling all these shots, man. I feel my eyes swelling up for the first time. I'm feeling these body shots. I'm feeling these rib shots. It's me going back to the corner. It's like, okay, I need to move around.
Now you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, I need to move around. I need to jab. I need to. So now everything my coach is saying, I'm really looking for the information. I'm like, okay, I need to jab. And it gets to a point, man, it was almost like a numbness. That second wind came, and it was almost like a numbness to me. He was hitting me on my body, my head, and it was like a numb type of feeling. But mentally in my mind, I had to make a decision. I'm like, he's going to have to kill me here tonight.
Right.
He's going to have to kill me here tonight because I'm going to be hitting him with some shit too.
I felt like that's the kind of urgency you had against that Ortiz fight. Ortiz won when because you were like, I can't lose. I think did you feel like you was, behind?
Man,
because it was so close, you know what I mean?
As I said, a lot of things that went on, behind the scenes for the Ortiz fight that I just knew mentally I just wasn't there, and just physically I wasn't. Really? I wasn't there, and and just me coming out for that fight, it was just crazy because, there was a lot of talk about, me and Floyd at that time fighting. And then they threw the Ortiz fight in front of me. I'm like, I don't know this guy. I just seen him fight. He got stopped by my down. I'm like, what are they doing? Let me just go ahead and. So, of course, it's being me at the time, living in Atlanta, partying, having a good time. I didn't get down, probably training camp, probably 6 weeks out. And had a lot of things that happened during training camp that I had to sit. It made me suffer that fight.
So when you physically talk about, because I was watching Adrien Broner talk about a bad camp.
Yeah.
What is a bad camp?
A bad camp, it just depends, man. Just like me, myself, I made some bad decisions in camp that affected my body in a way that I couldn't, I shouldn't have, went out there and performed like I did. But you can have a bad camp by just not having the right, preparation for camp. Not having a camp that's long enough, extensive enough. You're gonna go into a camp just too damn big. So now you're going through camp just trying to lose weight instead of training about the skill.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
technique and what am I gonna do in this fight? I gotta practice this so many times. I know what he gonna. You gotta spar against the guy who's gonna give you the exact move. He gonna prepare yourself.
Which a lot of guys, they go through, man. But like I said, I went through a lot of tough things in that camp, and actually, that was the first fight that I was nervous about coming in because I knew something was wrong with my body, physically. And it was just crazy. I just remember just walking out, to the ring, And this fight was like I think it was like in Connecticut. It was out in the woods somewhere. Mm-hmm. Of course, I was big at the time, but still I didn't think people were going to show up like that. And I remember walking out, I remember looking to my right. I see Floyd, I see 50, I'm looking over, man, I see damn Ortiz, he jumping back and forth, look like a rabid pit bull, bro. He looked big, look like he just drooling out the mouth. I said, oh shit, man. I said, he ready, and I know I don't feel, I'm out of it. I said, oh damn, I gotta pull something out of the hat tonight. You know what I mean? So everybody that seen that fight, for me, it was just strictly just instinct that I fought from, bro. That was it. Just all instinct.
But when you say that, like, I look at that as a fight fan, and I'm like, obviously I don't know, because we watching it, and you out there looking like a killer, he looking like a killer. Just like two killers going at it, right? Yeah. And it's cool, it's interesting to know, and that's why I always call you after the fights, because you really want to understand greatness. For me, that's what it's about. Like, I don't look at it as just, it's boxing. I look at it as, this is somebody who's mastered something.
Yeah.
And I always want to understand why somebody does something so well. Yeah. How they do something so well. Yeah. I had the opportunity of meeting Kobe. And when I met Kobe, I just ran up to him and started talking to him. And we talked for about an hour and a half. Like, I didn't even say, I was just like, yo, I love you, bro. What's up? Like, what? And I just started asking the questions, because I just had to understand what makes something great. Every morning when I'm on the treadmill, I watch this thing called GQ Actors Breakdown. Yeah. And it's actors discussing their most iconic roles. I'm a huge film buff as well. So I study actors and directors, and I just be trying to figure out how they get into character, how they create that, because it's just such an incredible gift. So when I look at boxers, actors, football players, basketball players, you know, other songwriters, other artists, I'm like, how do you prepare? Because I want to be just as prepared in life the way that you are in that ring. And I think that, you know, we were talking earlier about how a lot of people don't understand what goes into those camps, and a lot of guys don't want to. You said the fight is the easiest part.
That's the easiest part, bro. It's the camps, my guy. It's like, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, you know, seeing that little interview with, what's his name, Terrence Crawford. Mm-hmm. And he's saying, you know, if they try to give you $100 million, you know, when you get back in the ring, you know, when you come back out of retirement, he's like, nah. And he's like, man, listen, I mean, at that point, I feel like I'm selling my soul. It's not the fight, it's the camp. Yeah. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize and understand, bro. Like, me getting offered for fights and, you know, all these other, they don't understand. Yeah. If we say no, it's not the fight.
It's the camp.
It's the camp. Yeah. It's 8-9 weeks. I mean, some 10 weeks of just punishment, my guy. I mean, you talking about the fight, but we're fighting 3 days a week.
What's the toughest part?
I mean, it got to a point for me, you know, especially, I mean, just later on in your career, and I think, I mean, this is the case when it comes to a lot of the elite guys. You have to mentally get yourself prepared for sparring 3 days a week. Like, you got guys that you're paying to come in here and try to do damage. And some of the guys, like in my camps, and I know a few of my other boys' camps, you know what I mean? Like, they have bonuses on their heads. Like, listen, man, you knock them down, you get more money. You know what I mean? All that type of stuff. So it's like mentally, you know, having to prepare yourself for a rumble. Not just one guy, 2, 3 different sparring partners ready to take your head off. And to be able to say that they whooping you, and to be able to call whoever they gonna call. Like, I mean, I got on Berto ass, I got on Andre Ward, I got on, you know what I mean? I got on Terrence's, you know what I mean, ass tonight. So it's a lot that goes into that, man. And especially as you get older, you have kids, you got a family.
When do you stop sparring before the fight? How much time do you get between the fight?
You normally try to get about probably like a week and a half. Some people do 2 weeks. Some people do, like a week before a fight.
Really?
Yeah, just try to stay sharp. But if you want to be smart, you don't want to try to do too hard a sparring, like a week out, but you want to try to stay sharp, you know, close to the fight time as possible.
I want to do that. I want to get in fight shape one day. Like, I want to go through a camp. Like, obviously not the sparring part, but just all the conditioning. Yeah. And I might want to get in the ring and just kind of like move around, but I don't think
What you mean, the fight?
I don't want to. I don't even think I'm ready to spar, but it's just the training and the technique and the workouts. Yeah. You know what I mean? I really want to do like a 10-week camp, a real proper, like the real diet, Like I'm trying to cut, like I'm trying to, the
Yeah.
real cardio, the real
situation,
the real conditioning for a fight. I want to do a program like that. I remember I spoke to you about it a while back.
Yeah.
You was gonna put together one for me, but I really would love to do that, man.
I was talking about in videos about that, what's saying earlier today, when it comes to, training camp, right? Like you go through a training camp, it's crazy. Like we're low key crazy almost. We go through a training camp, it's tough, it's hard. Sometimes we hate it. But as soon as that fight is done, we home for 2 or 3 weeks, a month. Man, a lot of us, bro, like we fiend for it. We miss it.
Really?
We miss it because we miss the pain. We miss our bodies, like transforming, like for battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because after a few weeks, you start getting soft again and your body start looking funny and you just kind of whatever is like we miss that discipline at the same time as well, man. So it's kind of, it's a crazy type of, relationship, with the fight game. You know what I mean? Like who's your favorite fighter right now, you think? Who's your favorite fighter you like watching right now?
I mean, I love Tank, bro. I know he's going through his things, whatever he's dealing with. Yeah. Just something about Tank. I just think that it's, baby Mike. You know what I mean?
You guys argue with me about this Tank situation all the time. I was on the ring, we have a conversation, me and my man, my boy Shady, and every time I bring up Tank, he gets mad. Why you keep saying that Tank? He ain't fight nobody yet. He's da-da-da. I'm like, listen, bro.
I mean, everybody say you don't fight nobody after the fight is over. I don't hear him saying it before the fight. Everybody say he might get him. Everybody say it.
Yeah.
That's what they say. The same with you. He might get him, then when he lose, he ain't fighting. Like, that's all fighters have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I think it's always from guys who don't fight. I fight. You know what I mean? But I do know that before every fight with Tank, before every fight with Floyd, remember they were saying Ricky Hatton gonna beat Floyd.
Yeah.
Remember they were saying, Floyd, I don't know if he ready. And then as soon as he beat, he ain't fight. Come on, what is it gonna be? So what I look at it and I say, I love Tank's, I respect power. I respect guys who want to go in there and want to take the punishment. But I also respect the mind of Devin Haney. I respect the mind of Shakur. I think Shakur, to me, is the most skilled boxer today. I think he's going to outbox you. But also, I respected him in that Teofimo fight. Why? Because he stood in there and was punching.
Yeah.
He stood in there and was giving him some blow. And even with Devin, when people were like, but guys get in there and say, no, y'all, he ain't got pillows. He ain't got pillows for hands, pillows for fists like you think.
Seen it last.
When when you backing him down.
Norman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I look at that and I say all the time, bro, it's easy to say whatever you're gonna say. A guy don't get those looks the way, or get the energy around him, because it's an energy around those three guys. But for me, it's something about knowing that a guy has power. It's something about knowing.
Anytime.
Yeah. It's something about knowing, like, bro, at any second, you could be down in the cars. To me, Bud is that way too. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you and my Mount Rushmore as well,
Facts,
but as far as today, I've already said that with you many times.
Yeah.
But as far as today, Tank, I pray get through all of whatever you got to go through, because I want to see him fight.
Man.
And I think that he's incredible for boxing. I think that Shakur, Tank, Devin, they all got to see each other one day. And I don't want it to. They got to, bro, for us.
Listen, I like little Keyshawn too, man.
I like Davis. Keyshawn. I love Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah, too, man.
I love him. I love his skill. I think that, I just think that as far as the marketing is concerned, the biggest fighters right now, those three guys, they the three-headed monster, those guys. And I think that Keyshawn is up there with him skill-wise, and he's a dog.
Yeah.
And he gonna get in there and take some punishment, and he gonna, made mistakes, and he apologized and corrected his mistakes and got back in there and fought. I respect it. And I just think boxing can go a lot further if everybody just fight everybody and everybody just
it look like it's
get that loss out the way.
It's getting to that point now, right now. I think it's getting to that point now. Of course, I'm just like you said, that Floyd era, kind of influenced, so many other fighters.
Because the money. I think that people,
when it comes to money and making sure to try to keep that zero.
Yeah, I think the zero was connected to the money because when Money Mayweather was introduced, Pretty Boy was a dog.
A dog.
Money Mayweather is a scientist. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Money is a scientist.
Yes.
Pretty was a dog.
And it's like, I don't think that people, I mean, of course, a lot of these young kids,
they don't know.
They don't know. I said, they're young now. That Pretty Boy Floyd.
Imagine you break both of your hands. You break both of your hands, right?
Yes.
You break both of your hands in every camp, every fight you break your hand. Every single fight.
Yeah.
A scientist says, all right, I can't use these hands. I got to use somebody. Let me outbox you. And tap you. But I'm going to tap you good enough to where it's going to back you up. Because there's some power used to be behind this. It's just that I don't want to break these hands. So I think that understanding the fight game, understanding and asking a lot of questions. When I get around boxers, I ask questions. So it helps me understand. It keeps me informed on fights and understanding how it works. But I think the science of boxing is the part that you got to respect Floyd. And he's definitely in my all-time. Like, he's definitely up there in my all-time. I think Floyd might be number 1, number 2 for me for all time.
All time?
I mean? All time, man.
Yeah.
It's just different, man. Just the science is the way he, Floyd, you got Purnell, you got, Sugar Ray.
I was a big Roy fan too.
Roy Jones was a showman.
He was probably still now, I tell people, in his time. A lot of young guys, they probably don't remember. But Roy in his time was the most, and I still believe that now, he was the most physically gifted fighter.
Yeah. Ever. Yeah.
Speed, power, he can do things from this way, that way, this way. Things that are not correct.
And what he did for the sport of boxing. I think that the reason why I love Floyd, and I think that Roy is up there with me as well, up there for me as well, and Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray. The reason why I name those guys is because of what they did for the sport.
Yeah.
And not just the fact, by the way, these are highly skilled guys. These not just, because you can't even get to that space. This boxing is not this is serious.
Yeah.
You could die. Like this, you literally could die every night. And that's just real. So for a guy to go out there at a high level and perform and win and win and win and win and win and win, you know what I mean? Sometimes 2-3 fights a year for Floyd. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So why I agree with you
work ethic.
Yeah. Why I agree with you with Roy is because what he did for the sport. When guys are putting you in raps, when guys are putting you in their music videos, when women say, Y'all going to see Floyd, Roy? Y'all going to see Floyd? Y'all going to see Berto? Y'all going to see Tank? Y'all going to see Shakur? And I think Shakur is now, because I don't think women was talking about going to see Shakur.
Yeah.
I think they're about to now.
Yeah, when we went to the Tank fight.
Yeah.
It was like a show.
It was like a show.
Like they coming to see a damn artist on stage.
Sitting over here. And this one is just like everybody, all the rappers and everybody, it's like, when it started turning into that, and I think that Shakur has it, he got the look, he got the skill, he can talk, you know what I mean? I love how Tank had learned how to talk. Remember Tank didn't know how to talk at first? Now you know how to talk that shit. And I think that he, in his own style, like, because guys used to didn't know how to dress coming to the ring and all that. He keep it young and fly.
Yeah.
Boxing needs these guys. And I think that Roy represents how the transition between boxing fans and people who are fans of superstars. Becoming a household name.
Yeah.
When you're just a fan of a superstar, you're showing up because it's an event. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
I think Broner had that ability, and if he wasn't so ridiculously obnoxious, I think
what do you think happened to Broner? You think?
I think he just was too ghetto, too obnoxious, no home train, no real. Yeah. And I think he would even agree right now from where he's sitting.
Yeah, there's one thing about Broner though. At the same time, man.
But when you meet him and talk to him, he's not like that though.
Bro, he's a good guy.
When I seen him, I used to see him out. And I have conversations with him like, boy, you a nice guy.
That's what I'm saying. He's a good guy. And I physically seen him give so much of what he had as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? He gives so much to people as well. But it just goes back to, his environment as well.
Yeah.
You know, feeling like...
survivor's remorse.
Yeah, survivor's remorse. Feeling like that you need to take care of everybody around you.
Or I can't be too rich. I gotta be rich money-wise, but I gotta still be hood. Because I can't let nobody think that I changed. Or I still gotta hang out in the hood, and I still gotta have beefs, and I still gotta get into fights in the club so I can show y'all I'm not this. Instead of really understanding that the goal is to get the fuck away from all that.
Yeah.
And once you understand that. But I think Broner is an example of could have had the world. You know what I mean? Could have had the world. And one I think could have been potentially one of the greatest fighters if he'd had his mind right and stopped letting street psych him out and stop feeling like he had to be so performative. And say all the obnoxious things he was saying after the fights. You know, like racially and you know, the xenophobic and the sexism and all that stuff. You got to take that out of the equation if you want to go to the
end of the day, while you winning, they may accept it, but as soon as you go to losing, and then you go to popping that type of, that ain't gonna. I mean, it ain't gonna go.
And then when you do all that, when you go down bad, nobody feel like they should help you. You know what I mean? They feel like, oh, you did that to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, when bad things happen to good people, it's almost like everybody feel like we got to figure out a way to help, buddy. How can we give him a gig over here? What can I do to help him? Should I put him on? You know, how can I help this person? But once you start coming off as that way, I just think he was great. He would have been great for the sport. You know what I mean? There was a time where he was on his way.
He was lit. It was lit for him, but you know, that's how the game goes, man. All right, let's start getting into Rico Love. See, me and him, we can do this all day. We can talk this all day. And I could have just threw this away, but I'm like, hey, man, let's dive into it, man. So, of course, Rico, man, I've known you for years, bro. And it's a lot of stuff just by me just doing a little bit of research that I didn't know about you, of course. You know what I mean? You was raised in Milwaukee, and you were raised in Milwaukee and Harlem, but you were born
in Louisiana. Yeah.
So what's going on with all the movement pieces?
My parents met in the military.
Okay.
So my dad is
military baby.
Yeah, my dad is from New York and my mother's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So when they met in the military in Louisiana, plus my mother's family is from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
So when they met, you know, as a small child, we were in New Orleans. And then when they split, my mother took me to New York and my dad went to Milwaukee, my dad went to New York, and then I would go back and forth between parents. So that was a lot of my upbringing. And I think it was healthy for me because obviously when it's happening, you don't realize how unorthodox that setup is, driving from New York to, my parents would drive and meet in Toledo, Ohio. And my mom would drive to Toledo, my dad would drive to Toledo, and they would kind of like swap. And I would jump out of my mom's car, jump in my dad's car, and go to New York. Then 6 months, I come back and do the same thing. So it helped me so much. I think not even just as a man, but musically. You know, there's no genre of music that I can't create. There's no room I can't sit in. There's no type of person.
All of them had just like different tastes, or you just picked up
different dialects.
Or you just picked it up in Louisiana,
New Orleans,
picked it up in New York.
New York, Milwaukee, Midwest. I understood how to speak the language of all of those regions, and I've been around each character in all those regions, from the pimps to the gangbangers to the thugs to the, the prostitutes to all that, to the business guys, to the hustlers in Wall Street. I've been around all of that. So to be able to feel comfortable in any room, to be able to have a conversation with anybody about anything, because I've been in those spaces, I've been comfortable in that family in each of these markets and these regions, it was easy for me to adapt. And also, I don't have really an attachment to, like, it's easy for me to detach, which is a thing me and my therapist got to work on. But it's kind of, it's so easy for me to.
I'm over here.
It's so easy for me to be like, all right, fuck it, I'm out. You know what I mean? which is a testament to my upbringing.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. So I know for college, man, I didn't know you went to FAMU, bro.
Yeah, went to FAMU.
There's one thing about it, man, just me just living in Polk County in Central Florida. We knew a lot of people that went over to FAMU. Yeah. From time to time, we used to go party in FAMU.
Yeah,
Did they have the curfew over in FAMU at the time? Because I remember when I was going to school, from time to time in high school, we'll go to FAMU, we'll go out to the games and things of that nature. They had a curfew at FAMU because it was so wild.
Yeah, they had a curfew, but nobody, we heard about the curfew, but nobody about a curfew. But yeah, there was a curfew at one point on the campus. And I stayed in this dorm called Pattyfoot, which was the most popular, but it was the hoodest. You had Pattyfoot and you had Gibbs for the male dorms. They had a female Pattyfoot as well. Sorry, but man, yeah, we had curfews, but fam was like, I just visited 2 weeks ago. Yeah. For the first time in 22 years.
Jeez.
And it's really cool because it brought back so many memories, but I think it kind of helped craft me as a man, understanding, like I said, like growing up in different places and understand. But I learned about DC heavy when I was in FAM, because a lot of people from DC, PG County, Maryland area was going to FAM. I learned so much about, that whole DMV area. And I think that culture there kind of helped inform how I created music as well. you know, that go-go energy, or just even just the way that they were so free and understanding musically. I just think that kind of helped me. A fam, if had I not been a fam, I wouldn't have been able to understand it that way.
That's dope, man. Then you end up making your way down to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Was in my read that you used to, or you was leaving fam almost every other weekend and go down to Atlanta. Did you already have that spark in your mind that you wanted to get into the music business? And of course, I found out, like I say, I've known you for too long not to know this. Found out that you were a rapper at first.
Yeah, rapper.
No R&B rapper.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me, bro. It's crazy for me to even think that.
That's crazy.
But I know that you said you was a rapper. You were signed over to Us Records over there with Usher. And how did this, I mean, I didn't know that you was a rapper at first, bro.
Yeah, I signed as a rap artist.
Okay.
But I was just so ambitious.
Yeah. You just wanted to get on.
I just wanted to get right. But when I was, I would go to Usher's office every day and it's like, bro, I need bread. Like, what can I do?
Yeah.
And he just gave me a track that Just Praise produced and I wrote Throwback. And that was the first song I wrote.
That's the first song you ever wrote?
Ever wrote. And when I wrote it,
that's crazy.
Obviously,
bro.
Confessions comes out and it changes everybody's life who was involved with it. But it kind of sparks some in me, and I feel like the hustler in me and the ambitious, you know, creature that I am, I just feel like, well, if I can do it once, I'm gonna do it again.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it.
Crazy.
To this day, I still write songs every day.
Still,
you know what I mean? Still to this day, every day. So it's just like I say, it's a sport. It's like sparring. It's like being in fight shape, 365.
Putting them reps in.
Putting the reps in so you're so comfortable. So if I go 2 weeks without writing, I'm traveling, I'm doing something, I get right back in there, and it's so easy to rock out because it's like muscle memory.
Man, how did you and of course you just having all these hits that you of course helped, I mean, Usher with and a few other artists, you know, how did that relationship start to blossom after that? You know, after you wrote that first one, then that second one, you know, I know he took you on tour, things of that nature.
Yeah.
You know, how did that continue to blossom? And did that just open more doors, like for other artists to come in? I mean,
for me, it was I think it's just I have the utmost respect for him.
Yeah, I know. I see some situations where it's like they can't say nothing ill about Usher around.
I done fell out with niggas because they said something about Usher.
It's crazy.
So I don't play about that. Like that's if you it's no way you can be great unless you're grateful.
That's a fact.
So what Usher did for me in my life, I don't care even if me and Usher going through it. Like if somebody say something, it ain't gonna be good for him. You know what I mean? And if me and Usher's out, and if like there's been times we've been out and somebody try him, I'm the first one to jump
on him
because I just don't play about him. That's my brother.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just so grateful. I look at my life and what my life is because of the opportunity he gave me. And I just could never ever not appreciate that, like to the highest level. That's my brother.
Man. Especially, you know, when it comes to those first, you know, couple of records that really went crazy, you know, for you. Yeah, I mean, of course, I know it changed your life, you know, to a sense. And then, of course, having, you know, records like Climax and Seduction was one of my ones I used to love. You know what I mean? And, of course, work with so many of these other artists, you know, when it comes to Beyonce. How did that door crack open, the Beyonce door crack open for you?
Man, Michelle Williams.
Really? Michelle linked that up?
Working with Michelle and working on her project, Unexpected. It's we did call it Unexpected, and I think honestly, between Michelle Williams and Max Goose, because Max Goose introduced me to Michelle. Michelle played my records for B.
Really?
The records that I did on her, she played them for B and J, and that's how that got on their radar. And then Max was able to set it up because they heard me and the work I was doing with her. I did a song called "The Greatest" for Michelle Williams, and I think it's just an incredibly well written song, and I think that that's one of the songs that B heard. As far as from what I heard, and it, you know, I'm grateful to Michelle too. I'm actually going to see her. Death Becomes Her on Broadway. In like 2 days, and taking my daughter for Valentine's Day to go see the show. But yeah, that's how it happened. But with all these things, you have a gift. You work hard at the gift. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. You consistent with your gift, and one song leads to the next song and the next song, and this person hears it, and this person's interested because they heard this and like this. That's how it is, man, and that's just how like you gotta treat it like I gotta write the best song every day of my life.
Every day.
Every time I get in here, I'm trying to write the best song.
Yeah, that's
because I want somebody might hear this song, and if this song becomes a hit, great. I can feed my family. If it becomes just a great song that people like, there's some artists that's growing up right now that's 10 years old that's gonna listen to this song, and in 5 years and 7 years they get a record deal, they're gonna say, I want to work with Rico because he wrote that song and I used to sing in my bedroom. That's how you stay alive in this game.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So when was the moment do you think that you really realized, you know what I mean, you was that guy? Like, I'm writing these songs for this big artist, like I'm that guy. Did you get to a point where you got big headed and you know, you really start kind of, I mean, like I said, it's hard not to be.
Yeah, no,
if you're in the studio with Usher, you're in the studio with, you know, Beyonce, you're writing a lot of these hit records.
Yeah, I never
that
had
everybody
those moments.
loves.
I never
Really?
had that big headed thing because I was always still the underdog. I always felt like that. I always felt like I still don't feel like I get the respect that a lot of guys get who haven't had as much success as me. They just make seem like it, but I think that being an underdog, and also I stick to myself. A lot of people don't know that. Like I don't have entourage, I don't have a million guys, or I'm dolo a lot of places. You know, I was in where was I? I was in Santo Domingo and DR by myself one day, and I saw this group of girls, and they was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just hanging out, you know, like, so I think that kind of keep me grounded, but also I think that there are many moments that I feel like where I realized, okay, you're doing it. But I think the real moment was when Puff called me. When Puff called me to work, Puff only attached herself to the fire. So when he called me, I knew, oh yeah, you've arrived. Because he's not going to call nobody. He don't want to be even near you unless you got some motion. So yeah, that was it for me.
Yeah, that was it for you. Man, that's crazy. So for you, what is the psychology for you writing a record for, like I said, another huge artist, and you writing a record for yourself? Of course, we're going to go into the transition of you and being an artist, but is it the same? Or do you have to try to change your mindset? Because like I say, I mean, of course, you know, I know a lot of other, you know, big people in the industry, man. I've seen, it's kind of crazy for me to see sometimes, man. I see, you know, I say a lot of these guys, or if I'm with Chris Brown, I'm with some of these other people, and they really know how to write. I was with Neo, you know, like I said, a few months back, and they really know how to write female records.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know, like, where do y'all get that from, though? Like, of course,
I like writing female records more than I write.
Really? It's crazy.
I love it because I think that to speak pain, this pain of what a woman goes through, to really recognize how to talk for her and speak for her from your perspective. It's like it's you, but you're saying, if I was her, how would I communicate this? Or what do I think the women want to hear?
Yeah.
How do I feel, even if I don't even agree? You know what I mean? That's the challenge.
Yeah.
You know, I wrote Twerk for the City Girls. People don't know that.
Really?
I'm talking about Do It Babies. They moved the verses and everything, like all that.
I gotta
So when I'm listening to that, when I'm writing that, I'm thinking to myself, what is the thing that's gonna make them react? And I kind of like almost instinctively know, oh, this line right here, I need the line that's gonna make them go. When you drop the music and everybody say, you know, that's the part of it that's good. So I think that the psychology is, how do I say the most obvious thing in a way that hasn't been said before?
Yeah.
Like, how do I say I love you to the girl in a way that she's never heard I love you before? I mean, I wrote Motivation for Kelly Rowland, and I was thinking, like, how do I say a woman is about to climax without her saying it? Your grandmother can sing it and don't even know she's talking about an orgasm. So you want to be able to do it in that way. I think that's the clever part of it. I think now music is so harsh and so obvious.
Man,
so
it's crazy right
aggressive
now.
and so vulgar. And I think vulgar has its place. Because I've written some vulgar stuff too. But I just think
like it's too much though at the same time. No, I mean, like, it's too consistent.
I think, you know, Akinelli, Put in Your Mouth was an anthem, and I think the vulgar stuff works. So some things, they feel good and it's supposed to happen. You know, Back That Ass Up was just, you needed that, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the most challenging and the fun way is, how do I say this thing in a way that's like, wow, I didn't know he was talking about it. I wrote a song for Usher called Dive, about a woman who just has the wettest, you know what I mean? And I was like, to me, I was so proud of being able to say that without saying it.
Without saying it.
I think the walls are looking like they might precipitate till I'm in so deep, I'm up to my waist. But I promise, girl, I'm not afraid. It's raining inside your bed. No parts are dry. Loving makes you so wet. You know, your head, your thighs. You know, ever since we first met, I knew that I would take that dive. You know? So like saying things like that and being clever enough to express it in a way that I think challenges the listener and makes the listener think. And I think when you're driving those long drives home, you listen to that song and you're like, oh, that's what he meant. I didn't know. That to me is what I write for. That's the psychology for me, is for when people, how can I say, the most clever and the most genius and brilliant thing, to where it gets to the point where they hear it one day and they're like, it's still Jay-Z lines that are just eureka moments for me.
Yeah.
I'm 43 years old. There's still lines that I've heard from Jay-Z from when I was 15 years old that I hear now and be like, oh, that's what he meant.
That's what he meant.
You know what I mean? So, you
that's
know,
what he meant.
That's the part, that's why I write. That's the psychology for me, is how do I do that?
Nah, that's dope, man. And you know, for you, man, you've been behind the scenes, you've been behind the pen, you know, for a lot of great artists for some time, you know, of course, a few years back. And you know, what prompted you to try to make that transition to be an artist? I've seen it, of course, when it comes to you and, you know, guys like Dream and, you know, a lot of other artists, I mean, a lot of other people as well. You know, what do you think that really just like prompted it? Is that something that you feel that you've always wanted to be?
Always wanted to be that. I wanted, everybody has that dream. I'm blessed enough to say that I've had a couple hits as an artist, which is.
Do you think that's more freeing now? I mean,
yeah,
that was a lot more freeing than just sitting behind
because
the scenes?
you basically get to dictate your life.
Yeah.
Right now, I write songs and I don't get to choose. I just wrote some songs on Romeo Santos and Prince Royce's album, Better Late Than Ever, but I don't get to, after I wrote the songs, it's out of my hands. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the rollout plan. Nobody called me and said, hey, we're gonna shoot the video for this song and we're gonna do this. It's like you do the music and that's it. Yeah. But that's why I created Turn the Lights On though, because I just did a single for Lady London and Money Long that's coming out on Friday. And when you see the
exclusive.
press, it's really that, it's a dope record too.
Really dope.
So when you see the press, nobody say, you know, after you do the song, nobody says, yo, shout out to Rico. You've forgotten. And that's fine. I'm not trying to say this in a bitter way.
Yeah.
But I just think that that's the part about being your own artist, to where you can't be forgotten. But that's also why I created Turn the Lights On, so nobody can actually forget me. Because once you hear that,
you hear that tagline, you already know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I did some songs where recently was, you know, it was taken out, but.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you never know.
Really? You think they're alive? Yeah, they can do whatever they want still with the records. They can take it over there.
It's their record, but at the end of the day, you know, the brand is speak for itself. And once the fans know, when they hear it, they be like, that sound like Rico.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, as an artist, man, you came out, of course, man, you had a killer with They Don't Know. Mm-hmm. Did that respect, once you walked into, you know, certain rooms, like even certain rooms to write, did that respect change to a sense? When it comes to artists and other writers, did they look at you different? Like, okay, dude he really doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's at a whole nother level.
I don't think it changed, but
I
do think when people get in the room with me, they have a high level of respect for me because of how I carry myself, but also the reason is because I respect everybody else too. Mm-hmm. I think when you give a lot of respect, you give love. When I walk in rooms, I look people in the eye, I shake their hand. When it's an artist there, it's their room. I'm here to accommodate you. I'm not the star, you the star.
Coming in with that ego.
I'm not coming in there trying to act like I know more than you and I'm this, and that. I'm here to help push your agenda forward.
Yeah.
So once you have that energy, you know, if anybody says anything otherwise, it's people who don't know me and never spend time with me and make assumptions based upon the bravado and the energy and the swag or whatever. But the confidence can be a bit intimidating to those who don't think highly of their own self.
Yeah.
But I get in a room and I think people respect the fact that no matter how accomplished I am, I treat every artist as if they are the biggest artist in the world.
Ever since I've known you, for sure, you always been respectful. So, you know, I think that's definitely I've just carried you just a long way, even outside the studio. You know what I'm saying? With guys like us, I mean, and guys like myself and other people, they always, you know, show Rico love. You know what I'm saying? It's always love.
So I'm grateful for it.
You got to be, man. So, you know, when it comes to, of course, man, it's always been, like now it's been this big shift in music, you know, when it comes to streaming. It's like the streaming, you know what I mean, era, of course. Does that change your writing style when it comes to music now because of the streaming?
No, I try my best to write the greatest song I can ever write. I want to be in tune. I want to be current. I don't want to date myself, and so I'm able to make music that I feel like is timeless all the time. Yeah. None of my records, I don't feel like it's one of my records that I've ever made and had success with that you couldn't play today or release today and it would still be a hit. Yeah. And I think that's the thing about true hits, they stand the test of time. And
true hits,
yeah. So for me, I don't let the business of music change the way I write and do music. I do know it's different. You know, artists the labels don't control it the way they used to. So when I'm writing with artists, it's really based off relationships now, because the labels they used to come and call me and it's call Dream and call Sean and call Esther and say, we got this artist and we got a big new first single. We need you to do the next single. Now you won't even get a record deal unless you already had a hit. So now how do you convince this kid who just got $4 million that they need to get in the studio with me?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so I was about to say, like, do you think the music game, you know, is better or is worse now? You know, when it comes to creators, you see a lot of guys now. I mean, you see a lot of these kids now. You get you something on TikTok banging, you in there.
I would say it's different. I wouldn't say better or worse, because I think for somebody who's prevailing at a high level now as a songwriter in the business, for me to say it's worse, they look at it and say, no, it's not, right? Now, when I had my insane run, there's some guys who came before me who would have said it was worse, and for me, it was great. So I think that the mature energy to have around anything is to say, Nelly told me one thing. He said, you got one time to be the new guy.
Ooh.
You only got one time to be the new guy. So you take advantage of being a new guy, and you know that if you're able to still sustain yourself, I still make a living off music. You know what I mean? To this day, 25 years in the business, I still make a living off of doing music. So I'm blessed. I'm grateful. Now, am I gonna have, 16 records in the top 20, the way it was at one time? It changes, it shifts. You have to exist in different spaces, doing film, doing television, writing it for different genres, music supervisor for TV shows, doing the We Love Music conference and the Songcrafts, creating apps, partnering with gyms, partnering with water brands, Indio, H2O, like, how do I expand? Because like I said, LeBron is not going to be doing the same thing at year 23 as he did in year 2,
and
3,
that's
4,
what I was
5.
going to say. It's of course, the game has changed so much, and I just want to know if you feel like you had to change so much with it because the sounds and the trends have changed so much to try to stay, just try to stay relevant in the game as well.
I just think timeless music is always going to work. When I listen to Kalani's Folded, it makes me happy, because I know if a great song like that can work, then I know that I still got a job. When I just did Tiana Taylor's project and worked with her and seeing we nominated for Grammy still, that's a blessing, man, to be able to still be active, to know that an artist like Lady London could say, all right, Rico want to get in, and me doing her single, and people still want to hear my ideas. Man, I'm blessed, bro. I'll be crazy to try to say, I have to do the work, though. I got to be current. I got to go and listen to what's happening and be current and know the lingo and know the conversation. But there are certain timeless chord progressions and melodies that's always going to work. And I got to be able to make sure that I don't lose sight of what I do great. But also conversation and lingo. I got a 15-year-old son, a 10-year-old daughter who's on YouTube shorts all day and doing all the dances and all. So I got to be able to know the conversation, and I'm blessed because I'm able to be current and to understand how they saying, how they talk, and what's going on.
I've been in a position with a few, other artists that I've spoken to, of course, throughout the years. How many hits do you think that you've written for other artists while your personal life was all over the place in shambles?
Yeah, I wrote Mr. Wrong for Melanie, for Mary J. Blige, 4 a.m. for Melanie Fiona, and Heart Attack for Trey Songz in the same 2 days.
In the same 2 days?
Those 3
what
songs.
You had going on?
Every word in those songs was me. It was my life. I was Mr. Wrong. I was out till 4 a.m. and I was having a heart attack.
You was having a heart attack?
all that was me.
Out of there.
Yeah, and not even consciously. that's what was coming out of me. That the music that was coming out was what I was living.
Real.
Yeah, that's real. That's so real. Like that. The music just started the art started imitating life. And that can happen. And it was so therapeutic. I love to talk about the problem. I love to discuss the issue. And I'm more comfortable talking about what's wrong. When I'm in a space where I can't comfortably speak about what I'm feeling and what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with, that's when I put it on the music.
Yeah, that's what.
And that's my safe place. And I appreciate you for asking that, because I think a lot of people don't understand how much of us goes into the song.
Yeah.
And how much of what we're feeling going through goes through. I learned so much watching this Martin Scorsese documentary when he was talking about Mean Street and Goodfellas, and he was like, that was me.
That was him, really?
He's like, that was my life. And of course it was, Henry Hill and all the guys he was writing about, but he was like, I grew up in that, back then violence in films in that way wasn't as prominent. So when Scorsese started, having guys, when he beating him with the butt of the gun and all that, that was the rage that was inside of him that he was trying to get out. And I was like, wow, that's the same musically. It's us, art. We going through so much. These are things I want to say. And I know that Mary singing it makes it a different, or there's some things that I'm experiencing, and I know if Trey sings it in Too Deep, can't think about giving it up. I never knew love would hurt this fucking bad, the worst pain that I ever had. You know what I mean? Like going through those things, knowing that you in a relationship that ain't working, and you don't need to be in it, but you just know that it hurts so much to leave, and I gotta stay. So it's one of those things where the art imitates the life, and the music is, for me, is so therapeutic for that way. And
but I'm saying, but that's what I loved about, music, back in the day. That's why it's hard for me to listen to a lot of this shit going on now.
It's some good shit out though. It's some good shit out though.
Well, you need to send me some of the good stuff.
You gotta get into Olivia Dean, man. You gotta get into Leon Thomas.
Please
like,
send it to me.
There's some artists out here that's making some dope
because
shit.
It got to a point that I'm like, is this all playing on radio?
I think Coco Jones. But listen, Coco Jones, Leon Thomas, Kehlani, Lady London, Dolce. You know what I mean?
Dolce's hard.
These artists, it's some artists out here making some dope music. It's just so many artists that you think that it's not many great ones. But think about it. Back in the day, it wasn't as oversaturated. It was gatekeepers. And I think gatekeepers are much needed. We need gatekeepers because gatekeepers stop everybody from, think about it now. How many belts is there out there now?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Everybody got a belt.
Everybody got a belt now. Hey,
you know what I mean? So
the interim, the intercontinental,
exactly.
Who the champion?
It's the same thing, right? Who's
the champion?
So I think that the same thing happened with that. And I think before we get out of here, I want to say, I think that what you do, your ability to teach people about boxing, because you've taught me so much about boxing. Like I call you sometimes and I say something, you're like, nah, Rick, it's like this.
Yeah.
This is why this happened. Yeah. No. And I'll be like, man, blah, blah. And you'd be like, let me tell you, let me break it down for you, this and that. And
right.
And I made a habit out of not calling you before the fights. I used to call you early.
Okay, you try to figure it out
yourself. I'm trying to figure myself.
Trying to figure out yourself.
And then I call you after the fight and say, blah, blah, blah. But the way you teach boxing, man, I think it's something to that, man. You got to figure this out, or how to, because people want to learn it. People want to understand it the way that you know it. And I think that a lot of the,
I think that's why we're doing stuff like this, man. It's like, I can really, be in this space so I can break a lot of these things down. But of course, the main situation is to bring guys like yourself that aren't just, in the fight space, that really know their shit, and they can come and speak on it. And I think there's a lot of other, there's a lot of people out here in general, man, that really know their stuff, man. It's in the entertainment spaces, in, other, athletic spaces. You talking about actors, whatever the case may be, that really love this.
Yeah.
They really love this fight game, and they've been watching it for a long time. Their father's been watching it, and they really know their shit. Yeah. I bet. I know a lot of y'all guys that bring y'all on, so y'all can really break this down in a different type of way, a different type of tone as well.
Yeah.
Of course, just hearing it from me. I'm a fighter. I've been in the game for a very long time. Yeah, they want to hear it from me, but let's hear it from somebody that's just a student of the game.
Yeah, so, and learn. And I think that the key for me is I'm okay with being wrong. And I think that's the best part about information. I always tell people that I don't mind being corrected, because I want to be correct. You can't be correct unless you at one time was corrected. And I want to be correct. So I appreciate you for always correcting me,
man.
My
I appreciate you for this, my boy. Definitely, man. Good interview, man. I appreciate you, my man.